Hi, friends. Welcome back to Blood Donut Studios and happy 3-year anniversary to Fresh Face Comics. I screwed up. We recorded the entire video of our 3-year anniversary of Fresh Face Comics, our tier list that we do every year of our heroes and protagonists, and I didn't record my audio. Hi, I'm Joey Morgan. I'm here with Jacob for the second time
Hi,
recording this.
I'm Jacob Licklider. We're doing this a second time. So what we're doing is you're seeing the footage.
Yep, what you should be looking at right now is just a Fresh Face Comics logo. But what you're about to see is the actual footage. We have the footage of us making the tier list. What we're going to do right now is we're going to speed up that footage and we're going to comment over it and make a little commentary track over our own recording.
So we're going to talk about my thought process. It means you won't get some of the great discussion entirely.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have some things to talk about because yeah. Are we ready? You know what?
I guess I'm ready.
Let's get this started.
Let's get right into it. For my own editing purposes, I'm going to do a little countdown for myself to press play. So here we go. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1, go. So here we go, right at the start here. We're just looking at the tier list. What you're actually seeing here, all of our characters that we have available. We're sort of structuring it like we did the previous year, where we're putting all of the characters in their respective tiers first, adjusting what Jacob had last year, and then only after that, we're going to add all of the new characters that we covered over the past year into this. It is important to note also, these are all Jacob's opinions. None of this is really me, because he's the fresh face. He should be the one commenting on all this. And also, of course, we're including characters that we covered over both Fresh Face Comics and Fresh Face One-Shots, because there are a lot of characters that we cover through One-Shots that we're only covering on One-Shots. And I think it's important to include those characters as well. I didn't realize how long we talked before the actual
we had a bit of an opening because we were reflecting quite a bit that honestly, we have the interesting thing of this year is a year where we've got a lot of new Marvel characters because we finished and I had to reiterate this multiple times in making my decisions. Last year ended and we had just done first 2 volumes of Spider-Man by Stan Lee and the first volume of Uncanny X-Men by Chris Claremont.
Yeah.
So there were some characters on this list in some very weird places that changed dramatically.
Oh yeah, totally. Here we go. Now we're starting to add characters to the list. I think S tier pretty much stayed the same as last year. We had Death, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Dream. We are speaking of the footage as well. So we have Nightwing, Swamp Thing, and Jim Gordon and John Constantine here at last. I don't think your S tier changed at all, did it? Well, at least in adjusting it here.
Not in adjusting it. Partially because the Vertigo characters we didn't cover much of. And it's the Trinity, right here's the Trinity.
They go all right in a row, and they're bookended by 2 Sandman characters that you adore,
that I adore,
and then they're followed by Bat Family characters and Vertigo characters, and it all makes sense. It's also a very me coded S tier, minus maybe some GL stuff, but I love this S tier. Your S tier is so good. Here we go. So I'm going to make the A tier here. Once again, just sort of recapping what we had the previous year with Amanda Waller, Hal Jordan, Tim Drake, Steel, Superboy, Catwoman, Raven, Aquaman. I believe next I had a hard time finding some of these because there were so many characters on the list. Then you had Nightcrawler there. We had Wolverine. We had Jason Todd. We have Starfire. Mira. I was really struggling with that next one. We had Vixen. I remember Vixen. Yeah, Guy Gardner, Green Arrow, Shazam, had Bronze Tiger, had Rick Flag, Etrigan the Demon. We had Storm. Also struggling with the next one.
I want to say the next one's Colossus.
Colossus, that's right, Colossus. We had the Signal, Duke Thomas, and Daredevil. And I think last was Spider-Man. I think I had to scroll down for a little bit.
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah, you scroll down. Parker Spider-Man, and this is where we actually start getting some changes.
Yep. Yeah.
First big one. I want to say is we moved Hal up.
We moved Hal up a little bit. I was happy to see him, but also still would have loved to see him in S tier.
This just give it another year, Joey. Maybe it'll happen next
It
year.
can happen. But you got through Blackest Night and you still haven't put Hal in S tier. So come on. Whatever. It's fine.
But I do decide, and it was mainly on the strength, one of Claremont, and then of course of Gail Simone.
Yeah.
It's
I think
Uncanny X-Men.
yeah, our first
Nightcrawler had to go up to the bottom of S tier.
yeah.
And then we had
And
some other
Wolverine
X-Men
went way
ships.
up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I certainly didn't expect to see Wolverine as your second highest ranked Marvel character here, but here he is, and
I mean, he's some of it is literally just Simone, and
mhm.
I mean Claremont's amazing too. But like in 4 issues, Gail Simone has done so much with so much character work,
Oh,
and
so much, yeah, yeah.
just a lot to describe.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
that we have.
You also move
Um,
Storm up there. Yeah, there's a lot of X-Men adjustment here with Storm.
I mean, again, we had 2 whole volumes of Claremont's X-Men
Yeah.
to
Well, you,
adjust.
yeah, it was volume 2 and 3, and then of course, yeah, with Gail Simone's X Uncanny as well, affecting all of these opinions. I think also you moved another Marvel character here coming up.
Yes, yeah. Again,
Yep, yeah, there goes Daredevil. Yeah,
Daredevil's gone up.
really high up there. He's fifth down in A tier, so yeah, pretty big. Pretty
Oddly
big.
enough, again, the strength of a Frank Miller run that was actually really good. It was, again, so weird to say because it's Frank Miller, and Frank Miller is problematic, shall we say?
A little
Uh,
bit. I think also we had a bit of discussion here about Spider-Man not moving at all because Volume 3 of Lee and Ditko's Spider-Man didn't really change any of your opinions.
it didn't. If anything, it made him worse. Now we start
So
filling in B tier with.
yes, Batwoman, Vic Sage question. Sorry. Here's the problem. Yeah, I fucked up here. Was I started putting C tier characters in B tier. My when I was looking at the list on my end, I just my eye just kind of jumped to the next tier. So B tier is actually Batwoman, Cyborg here, Cyclops, Kyle Rayner. It looks like Nightshade, Enchantress, Beast Boy. We have Black Canary, Barry Allen, John Stewart, Martian Manhunter, Kilowog, Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, Ted Core Blue Beetle, Charles Xavier, Donna Troy. We had Deadman here, Wally West #1, Cassandra Cain, Stephanie Brown, Mr. Miracle, Deadshot, Gotham Girl, Captain Boomerang.
Who you want me to put higher, but I haven't.
Yeah, you should. Element Woman and Banshee at the bottom of B tier there. I don't think we had too many adjustments to B tier here.
We had
Vic, Cyclops there. Cyclops moving to the top there.
Cyclops moved to the top. I also believe I moved Vic up. As Cyborg, reflecting on New Teen Titans.
Yeah, going straight
back to the bottom of A. And now here's where you really have a solid B tier. This was one of the tiers where we didn't quite read as much with a lot of these characters.
Yeah. I remember commenting also in the recording that moved on it. Well, really, you had said at first that you were moving Deadman and Wally West up, but I was like, oh, pretty much just moved Donna Troy down. But yeah, I remember commenting here that like a lot of characters that you'll see throughout this list are characters that we're definitely reading more of, and a lot of them in like the very near future. We're getting back to a couple runs coming up. So I'm very excited to see some of those, and also starting a bunch of new things. So that's exciting. But yeah, I think a lot of these opinions will change in the very near future, much like with last year's list, cutting off in the very early Marvel block. So you see a lot of Marvel character opinions change throughout this list as we go through the recording. But we're starting at the C tier here with Phoenix, Vic Sage, Phantom Stranger, Havoc, Polaris. I think Katana was next. We had Pandora, followed by Rocket Red. We need to read more Rocket Red. Dimitri's a legend. Roy Harper. We had Duchess. We had Madame Xanadu. We had Simon Baz, Huntress, Black Orchid, Hawkman, Captain Atom, Thunderbird, who I'm still surprised is actually in C tier, Frankenstein, and Human Torch, Gotham, Firestorm, Stargirl, Iceman, Angel, and Dr. Light, and The Thing, finishing off the...
And this is where we're going to get some pretty significant changes.
Yeah, this is where a lot of those early Marvel characters kind of ended up, I think. I just realized in the recording that you can see me adjusting my volume. It's fine, whatever. But yeah, this is where a lot of those Marvel characters that we covered last year kind of ended up, like right before you got to see more of them. So you see that a lot with Fantastic Four here, who I think are going to change in the very, very
near future. The first big change is mainly I'd only read a Stan Lee Steve Ditko appearance for the Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
So then we read 3 issues plus the Planet Hulk saga, and Ben Grimm just shot up to B.
Yeah,
Jean Grey's the Phoenix shot up to the middle of B as well, though she's one where we're on the cusp of Dark Phoenix, and I have a feeling that Dark Phoenix is going to shoot her up even higher, but I can't quite say that because I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think also for a minute there you forgot to move Johnny, and I think you're about to.
Yes, because there's a lot. And I'm looking at a much smaller screen. So I'm looking at this being shared with me.
And I had to quickly export this at a very low quality to share it with you because we realized my mistake immediately after recording. And so
it's also one of those things where a lot of this art is not necessarily the art that I'm the most familiar with, like for these characters.
Yeah,
because with Marvel characters, they've had one iteration that's in several artists. Now here we're in F tier.
Yeah, this is a big hit overall last year with Sunfire, Vibe, Azrael, Invisible Woman, Mr. Fantastic, Hulk, Carrie Kelly, and Rhonda Pineda. We got some big changes coming up here. With I think first off, I had convinced you. I asked you if you wanted to boost Sunfire because we had a really good Sunfire story in Uncanny X-Men Volume 3.
Where he was a little more chill and not like so stuck up and annoying to deal with.
Yeah. So I think we'll see in just a second. Yeah, we see Sunfire moving up there.
Big move up of the other 3 Marvel characters.
Yep. Yeah, coming up there.
It's so interesting because Sue and Reed, kind of a power couple, but they both have great appearances in the Planet Hulk saga. I mean, Reed especially. But Sue gets some moments, and it makes me want to read more. I just want to read more Fantastic Four.
I know we had some longer discussions on this throughout the F tier that we won't be like commenting on as in depth here. So I think I'm actually just kind of looking at the rest of the list right now. I remember I also asked you at one point during the recording. I know it comes later, but I want to ask it again now. Martian Manhunter, what's with that, man? You watched all of Justice League 2001 and you didn't move him at all?
Yeah, no, he stayed where he is. He's a solid character. I like him. I like him a lot. I do.
May I say, I'm also surprised you didn't move Catwoman at all.
I think she's where she is in A, and that's fine. Like, but Sue and Johnny are
Sue and Reed are going up to B tier there.
Yes.
I think we're going to see Hulk moving up significantly in a moment.
Very significantly, because I feel like Hulk is a character who could also, with another really solid run, jump up to S tier.
Totally. Bottom of A tier for Hulk there. Also looking at the rest of the list right now, I'm reflecting on it. I was surprised to see Vixen so high up there, but I remembered you really, really enjoyed her Suicide Squad appearance.
Yes, and what helps is it kind of helps that we hadn't read anything else to make me want to move her down.
Yeah, to drastically change it. Oh, this I love. You in F tier, you moved Carrie Kelly up above Azrael, and then I made the wise point to say, "Hey, you totally forgot who Vibe even was before we started recording."
I did.
And so you moved Carrie up, which I'm grateful for. I think I was mostly defending for the fact that I love her so much in Returns, and you were really burned by Strikes Again at the time we recorded last year's video.
I am still burned by
I
Strikes
know you're
Again.
still burned by Strikes Again. It's okay. It's fine. It's okay.
But now we're moving on to new characters, and this is
Yeah,
our first new character is a character invented last year. This
yeah.
is Lizzie Prince, Trinity.
Yep, who, as the time of recording and time of this video coming out, only just was actually born in the comics. But we have seen a lot of her in flash forward backup stories, which were very fun. I'm having a great time with her.
I'm enjoying her as a character, but she's a character I think we need a little more away from the fluff. Is something that I reiterated in our initial thoughts, just because Tom King's Wonder Woman has been fascinating to talk about, just entirely.
Yeah, I strongly recommend anyone watching check out our Wonder Woman one shots. They do really well as it is, but check them out. I think we have some really great discussions in those. Even though I think it is probably the most we do end up disagreeing on a lot of things when we
and it's though we both agree the art is has been fantastic on that.
Daniel Sampere, wonderful Daniel Sampere, love him.
Yeah, Lizzie as a character, I also had my one issue is I feel like we don't have a lot of Lizzie on her own. It's just been a bit much in the fluff with John and Damian Wayne. So like
you see you here putting her in C tier.
I
wisely pointed out immediately. I'm like, first off, you put her right under Thunderbird, which I was like, come on, you can't put her under Thunderbird.
I was trying to eyeball it like middle C.
Yeah, and so that you can see here is me counting it out, and so us deciding that putting her between Black Orchid and Hawkman was the way to go, and that's where she ended up. So
that's where she ended up.
Also, for those watching that aren't aware of the way we're going through the new characters now, we're doing all the DC ones first in the order that the tier list sort of randomly generated the new images in there, and then we go through the Marvel ones afterwards. So next up here we have Indigo One, who we read briefly in Blackest Night, and you actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought you would. I was surprised at how favorable you were to her. I'm a big Indigo One fan, but mostly because of things that come later. But you put her bottom of B tier, which I think is fair enough.
It's a lot of it is like fascinating concept being executed really well from Jeff Johns. Like
yeah, totally.
It is really, really solid.
Yeah.
And just, the Indigo Tribe is general, and the emotional spectrum is fascinating, and I really love what Johns has done with it.
Yeah.
But now we're getting a character who we've only done in one-shots.
Yeah, we had a fair few of these throughout this go around. But we had Artemis here, who we read in Batman the Brave and the Bold. She had a story called The Poison Within by Delilah S. Dawson, which we took a moment to praise because it was a great story. We gave some praise to Delilah S. Dawson herself, who we both are familiar with from a Star Wars book mostly. That is fantastic. If you have not read Rise of the Red Blade, it's really good.
Fantastic, and I'm not even that big of a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I think that should tell you kind of everything you need to know. But yeah, Artemis is great. I'm glad you enjoyed her. Put her in the lower end of B tier, but still really solid.
B is pretty high for just one story.
Oh yeah, exactly. Also read that story. I know DC's been doing a really bad job of collecting pretty much anything from Brave and the Bold, but if you can, seek it out. It's very good.
Yeah. Now we have John Kent.
John Kent up next, yes. Who we had read in Absolute Power recently. We've had in the Wonder Woman backups, a small appearance in DC Universe Rebirth. Nothing on the main podcast.
He's one I put him on top of C. Kind of like Lizzie. I need more from. I really want to read Super Sons. I really want to read the Tomasi Gleason.
I know that art that I chose therefore is from Super Sons.
I want to say what Jorge Jimenez art.
Yes, yeah, he was on that run. Great run.
Jimenez
I love Super Sons. It's so good.
Style I adore.
Then we had Damian Wayne here, who we got to finally add to the tier list. He had technically been appearing since like the very first year of the podcast, but we've only read like significant enough appearances in this past year. So here he is in the lower end of A tier. I think he said he was like, the least favorite canon Robin, which makes sense. I think I agree with that.
But he's still fantastic. I mean, Grant Morrison, they introduced him so well in that arc. I've loved him in Scott Snyder's Batman. Again, loved his presence in the Wonder Woman backups. He's great. character I can't wait. Again, can't wait to read the Tomasi Gleason Batman and Robin run after we do the Morrison run, and just more the Morrison run.
There's so much to do. So much to do. Oh, we need more. But yeah, next up here we had Wallace West, Wally West #2, if you will, which we recently read all of his New 52 Flash appearances for Flashfall, which we had a really great
character who I am sure the DC forums at the time were very toxic about.
Oh God, yeah. But honestly, just a great character, a really slept on character. Bottom B still really solid.
And a lot of it is only because it's kind of a shame that in the Vendetti Jensen run where he's introduced, he doesn't become Kid Flash. Like, he's just manifesting the powers as the New 52 is ending.
Mm-hmm. On that note, though, I do like that they take the time to build him up as just a regular person before he does the whole superhero thing. It's really good.
They set up
that art there I chose, I'm pretty sure is from the early Rebirth Teen Titans run, which I'm a huge fan of. It's sort of the lineup is basically the Teen Titans cartoon plus Wallace, and instead of Dick leading the team, it's Damian Wayne leading the team. It's incredibly fun. Next, we had Jessica Cruz here, being put below Jon Stewart in B tier. I'm glad you enjoyed her as much as you did in the little bit we had of her in Jeff Johns' Justice League. Just
another character who was given a slight characterization before becoming a hero, though.
Yeah,
in a very different way, but a very good way. And now we have a character who appeared briefly, but I fell in love with just because Zatanna is an icon.
Love Zatanna. Love Zatanna.
Like, we need to read Justice League Dark.
You also, of course, first saw her way back in BTAS when she had her episode.
Yes, she's in an episode of that, and she's fantastic.
Yeah. Also, if you would just start watching Justice League Unlimited, we could talk more about Vixen and Zatanna. So there's that.
We could.
And Black Canary. You could finally have stronger opinions on Black Canary in episodes written by Gail Simone, Jacob. Come on.
Look. But yeah, Zatanna's bottom of A.
Who can complain after 3 issues of Superman? Here's my little joke. Here's my little joke. I put Ray Palmer, the Atom, below Rhonda Pineda, the Atom. But of course, this is not true. He goes bottom B.
Bottom of B.
Who I think we really read him in Blackest Night, pretty much.
Yeah. Solid appearance, solid characterization. Some issues, but solid enough to put him there with potential.
Next here we had Renee Montoya's The Question, who, of course, it's worth noting for characters like that. Of course, we read her recently in Brave and the Bold, but also you've been watching things with Renee Montoya since we did our BTAS bonus episode. You can include your knowledge of any of those other things that you've seen or read with them.
And that elevates her quite a bit. She's kind of in the general pop culture, the unsung creation of the Batman the Animated Series. Like, everyone knows Harley for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Renee Montoya just comes in and is fantastic.
Renee Montoya also ended up becoming part of the comics way faster than Harley Quinn did.
I want to say like within the same year, right?
Yeah. We commented on that in our Nightfall episodes. But Jacob, we have Saint Walker up next here.
Saint Walker is
I love it. I love your love of Saint Walker.
He ticks pretty much like all the character boxes to appeal to me specifically.
Yeah. I remember, if you have not listened to our Rage of the Red Lanterns and Agent Orange episode, go check those out and just hear Jacob especially gush over Saint Walker. Lovely character. Lovely character.
Next, kind of a CW character who doesn't feel like a CW character.
Dreamer, Neonal, who is going in lower B tier here. Very solid appearances across Absolute Power and the DC Pride anthologies that we've read for one shots. So yeah,
oddly enough, it's the Pride anthology that I think that's that story of the Pride anthology clinched her right into B tier. Like,
I do love her ending in Absolute Power though.
The ending's great.
The Wild Dog goes in the F tier.
I did not like Wild Dog.
I'm sad about that. Wild Dog's so fun.
I made a joke. This is the only character that's going in the F tier tonight.
Yeah, you said that, but
I said that. We'll see.
Long-time Fresh Face Comics listeners will see another character that has yet to be added that may just go there. But next up, we have some oddball choices. I probably could have included Thomas Wayne Batman last year for Flashpoint.
I'm kind of glad you waited.
Yeah, because this is also including his appearance in The Button, which is very important for Thomas Wayne Batman as a character.
It's where he's actually a protagonist and not just an important supporting character. Like his relationship with Bruce in The Button
Yeah.
is fantastic, and the way that the ends and things come together is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm also really glad to include him on the list this year because there's a lot of different. There are a lot more things we can read with the character going forward. We can obviously still read like his tie-ins to Flashpoint itself, which I think are fantastic. He appears in more Tom King stuff later on. Here we have Harley being added to the list.
Provisionally being put in A.
Yes.
I mean, again, 3 seasons of the Arlene Sorkin and Kaylee Cuoco, both amazing as the character.
Mm-hmm.
Tara Strong's also pretty good.
Yeah.
And a character
what have you seen with Tara Strong as the character?
I mean, I've played bits of Arkham City before, even.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You really need to continue that because you got like what exactly one mission in, Jacob?
Basically.
God damn. Anyway, that does it for the DC characters, though. Now we're going to add some new Marvel characters to the list, kicking off with Black Widow, who we read mostly in Daredevil stuff, and of course, you can include MCU appearances.
I'm gonna be honest, her MCU appearance, I like Scarlett Johansson as an actress, but I think Black Widow as a character kind of suffers in the MCU by not really always getting the focus she deserves.
I think it says a lot that her solo movie came out after the character's actual death in the MCU.
Yeah. So this B placement is mainly, it's so weird. Frank Miller writes a strong female character that is good.
yeah, totally. Just really good stuff. Next we have Luke Cage being added to the list here.
Mainly from some Daredevil appearances, plus his role in season 1 of Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm. Mike Coulter's wonderful portrayal of the character, which if you have not checked out our Jessica Jones bonus episode, that just came out earlier this week. Had a lot of praise for that. Ended up being a great episode. I'm very happy with it.
I ended up actually putting him, I want to say top of B is where I ended up landing on.
We talked for a while about this.
We did talk for a while. Because it's so weird. Luke Cage's appearance in Daredevil was fun. Like Frank Miller doing like fun, like almost like fun double act with him and Iron Fist, and it's so out of the wheelhouse for Miller, but it works so well.
Yeah. Next we had Rogue, who you also saw Gambit on the list here, and you're like, and I was like, do you just want to rank them together? And so I was like, I'll put them in A tier, provisionally, for you to rank later. And you're like, oh no, they're just gonna stay there.
They're going bottom of A tier. Gail Simone in 4 issues has made an incredibly strong X-Men team.
Yeah, so
it's an incredibly strong characterization.
Does 5 come out before this video comes out?
I don't know. It might. I don't know.
Either way, we have Elektra being added to the list next. Another great Frank Miller female character that we have to give praise to.
Yeah, really strong and
also going up in A tier.
Also going up in A tier. Fairly high in A tier, which
high A tier. As we see her getting put above Jason Todd there. I can't help but agree. She's a wonderful character.
Definitely one I want to read more of.
We also had next have Beast being added to the list, Hank McCoy, finally, who we read in Uncanny Volume 3. So cool to see him being added there.
Here, this and the next character are kind of both characters where they had a couple of appearances that were solid appearances, but they're characters I need more of. This next one especially. Beast ended up going, right below Reed Richardson B tier.
Yeah. But next we had Silver Surfer, based on his Planet Hulk appearance.
Only like one issue, but in that one issue,
it's a good appearance, just not enough to really get to love the character or anything. So here he is getting put in the higher end of C tier, which is fine. I agree with.
And now we have the Sentry.
The Sentry,
who I forgot about,
the greatest Marvel character of all time. Jacob, don't you know this?
And you said.
I suggested, and you strongly considered for quite a few moments, putting him at the very bottom of the list. I personally would straight up put him at the bottom of the list. You, however, did put him one spot above. Rhonda Pineda, I'm sure he can go lower, and I joked, we should do some new Avengers soon.
It's the thing that Ron Pineda, we've read all of her appearances.
Here we are also commenting on Superman being second to top of the list and Sentry being second to bottom of the list, which I really love. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Yeah. Next up, we have Jubilee being added here for her brief appearances in Gail Simone's Uncanny X-Men so far. So not enough to really get to love the character yet, but still fun. She's fun enough. Yeah, we have her in the middle of C tier here, which is fine.
Yeah, right next to Lizzie, because they're both young female characters who I just need a little more from. Need a little more.
Yep. I do kind of like the way you look at ranking some of these. Is like you kind of like group these characters together, like with like Jessica and John up there. Sort of like being, you're like directly comparing those two Green Lanterns, and here you make that connection between Lizzie and Jubilee. I like that. That's cool.
Some of it is quite literally just like Bat Family. Some of it's just
Here we have
other things that work.
Iron Man being put in low B tier here, which is just
my thought process here was thinking about the Illuminati characters and how much I enjoyed them in that story. A little bit about their MCU performances, because Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic as Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Kind of a shame they're bringing him back as Doctor Doom. I don't like that.
Yeah. Let's ignore that for now. But here we have Iron Fist being added to the list because of Daredevil, and also in between the last recording of this one, I remembered that he was also in World War Hulk as well. Yes. Yeah, here he is being put at the bottom of B tier here, which is fine. You don't really know the character yet. I'm a huge Iron Fist fan, but yeah. We also talked a bit here about reading some more of him and Luke Cage together, which I would love for us to do Power Man and Iron Fist someday. I adore those characters. It's some of my favorite 70s Marvel out there. I love them so much.
That's what's nice about Marvel, is that you can go back to earlier decades pretty easily.
Yeah.
Still being a double-edged sword of everything is canon, but still.
Yeah, of course. Next we have Doctor Strange being added to the list here for World War Hulk.
Which is interesting, because I haven't seen either of the Doctor Strange films. I've only seen his appearances in Infinity War and Endgame.
That is a shame, because I do really like those two films, and also you get Sam Raimi weirdness with the second one. So,
and maybe now with the third one, the rumor that he might be back to direct a third Doctor Strange film. I will fucking
take it. Give it to us. Come on.
Let's just give Sam Raimi full creative control over a film.
We're recording this on the day that it was confirmed that Blade was delayed indefinitely. Why not let Sam Raimi do Blade?
Oh, that would work. Anyway, I put Doctor Strange in the middle of B.
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted him somewhere in between Reed and Tony, mainly because of
here we also have Punisher being added to the list, lowest C tier, which is a shame. But also, we're only basing it off exactly one not great Daredevil appearance, so whatever.
Punisher's a character that's possibly easy to fuck up.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to read or for you to watch Daredevil season 2, because we'll also have some stronger opinions on Elektra and Punisher at the same time. I think that would be cool to see. But here we have our last character being added to the list with Thor, and also be commenting on the fact that we had a really nice symmetry with the list, and then Thor fucking it all up. But it's fine. Thor at the bottom of A tier, which is great. Just can't help but love Thor. He's awesome.
Did I put him bottom of A tier? I thought I moved him up a little bit.
Oh yeah. I think I put him there temporarily. Sorry, you did.
Yeah,
that's right. He's above Daredevil. Yeah,
mainly because Jason Aaron's Thor 3 volumes is
so
amazing,
so good. I also love your top 3 Marvel or top 5 Marvel characters are 2 X-Men, 2 Daredevil characters, and then Thor right in the middle.
And Thor in the middle, yeah,
love that.
A lot of people would have Spider-Man as their top Marvel character.
I really appreciate your resistance to that. But yeah.
It's the adapted material that's saving him from not being any lower than he is.
Yeah.
Stanley Spider-Man, Volume 2 is genuinely good. I would happily read Volume 2 of that. And even some of Volume 1. But Volume 3 was so meh.
Yeah, that's fair.
You had a lot of Steve Ditko influencing the plot.
And it clearly affects the book in a negative way. So
I cannot wait to get to John Romita. on the arc, because I have a feeling like almost as soon as that's going to happen, something's going to switch.
It's a
those are those are the tier list. You're hopefully seeing the completed tier list.
Yeah, you should be seeing the full thing right now, all on one screen, thankfully, because even screen recording, I could not include the full thing in there. I don't think I could last year, and I especially couldn't this year. But yeah, here's the full thing that you're seeing right now. Great list, just a great list in general. I really like it.
It's obviously only going to get bigger in the coming year, because I mean, looking ahead, we have 5 Marvel episodes confirmed coming up.
And those are going to all be new runs that we're starting up. What will be our last episode before we do our next tier list? What number will that be?
That'll be 105.
105. Okay, that's going to be fun. Okay, I'm looking at the schedule right now.
Oh, you're looking at the schedule right now.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of new things to talk about.
New things. Things I'm hoping for continuations of in this next year, because last year we talked about things that I was hoping for continuations. I want more New Teen Titans. It's been a while since we've done a volume of New Teen Titans. It's hard because I love more Vertigo. I love a little bit of everything. I'd love some Bat Family books. Give me Batgirl by Gail Simone, or give me Death, please.
You want me to kill you?
Yes.
Anyway, thanks so much for watching, friends, and thanks for celebrating 3 years of Fresh Face Comics with us. For the second time for us, but whatever, it's fine. Promotions. What do we have going on right now, Jacob? What do you have going on at the moment?
Mainly I have my Letterboxd, where I do sort of informal reviews of films. A lot of stuff for spooky season, as this is coming out on Halloween, including recently a film that Joey recommended that gave me a lot to think about. It was fantastic.
So good. Oh my god!
And I have my blog where I've been doing Star Trek and the occasional book review. Trouble is, I haven't read a whole lot of new stuff recently, so I haven't done, and the new stuff I have read, I haven't felt like writing a review for.
I also do Star Trek reviews on the channel. I'm going through the movies right now, and apparently I can't I can't watch 5 and 6 right after 4 because fucking, I don't know, whatever the fuck that guy wants. Who knows?
Never mind that you've recorded those so far in advance that you
so far in advance. Anyway. We're doing Star Trek reviews. Also, RTBD is coming back soon. Should be next month sometime, so that'll be fun. We also have the podcast, Fresh Face Comics, which we have spent 40 minutes-ish celebrating. We just finished Flashfall. We put a bonus episode on Jessica Jones Season 1. And next up, we have Aquaman Autumn coming up. We're finishing we're doing all of Jeff Parker's Aquaman, all of Cullen Bunn's Aquaman, and the start of Dan Abnett's Aquaman. Doing the rest of New 52 Aquaman in general across 2 episodes. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to talk about those. And then we have something new coming up after that. We're actually going to announce the next 2 blocks coming up at the end of our Aquaman block because of scheduling things, because we're coming up at the end of the year, holidays, life's getting busy. So, yeah.
We want to make sure we get things recorded in time to release. Absolutely. And that means I need to be able to read and know what's coming.
Yeah. Also, there's Fresh Face One Shots, where we cover new and current things coming out. We've got Superman by Joshua Williamson, Wonder Woman by Tom King, Batman the Brave and the Bold by Various. We also, at the time of this coming out, we recently finished Death in the Family, Robin Lives, the alternate timeline in which Jason Todd survived. I'm sure that was great. We haven't read the last issue yet at the time of recording, but that's fine. We also cover The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, the end of the Long Halloween saga, as well as Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone, and me personally, for Fresh Face Solos, I'm covering X-Men by Jed McKay, and I've just finished catching up on that at the time of this coming out, so yay me. I think that about does it. Thank you all so much for spending 3 wonderful years with us. Here's to many more. Until next time, this has been Joey Morgan.
Jacob Licklider.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.